The noise you can hear in the background is the storm. We've had a storm for the whole of the week. Today's Thursday. I've been walking around the garden this morning, but there hasn't been much damage really, which is lovely. The birds are starting to sing. As I was walking around the garden, I noticed that there was an awful lot of signs of life. Spring. If we look down here amongst the old dead leaves of the Montbretia, the Crocosmia, you can see the new stuff coming up. And leaves here on the sheltered parts of the Buddleia. The climate's gone a bit haywire, I think, this year. Well, last year, 2011, and the year before. And probably the year before that as well. But this winter has been really strange. We've had a lot of warm weather. I mean, today, as I'm shooting this, it's really sort of balmy, even though there's a storm. If you look down here, this is sedge. This is an indigenous plant here in Ireland. And it stays green all the year round, even during the hard frosts. Still lots of colour here on the land because of all the close planting and all the different varieties and species. It's bamboo and a larch tree growing out of the middle of it. That's on a very deep pocket of soil, so it's quite possible to do that. If it was shallow soil, you'd have to just have either one or the other. The polytunnel appears to have survived the rigours of the storm anyway, which is quite good. And you can just see the sun there, quite weak on the horizon. It's the front of the cottage. Now you can see from that little wind spiral there that even though there's a storm, it's not turning. Well, it's turning a little bit. But because of all the close planting here on this permaculture landscape and the way everything has grown over the past 7 years, there is an enormous amount of shelter here in this garden. The garden, as I've said before, is about 3 acres. Now if you look here, this is the ribes sangrenum, and there's lots of buds coming out on this. This will be the first flowering bush of the year and should bring the bees out of hibernation. The beautiful colours now on the stems of the birch. Now the birch has grown really well in 7 years, as you can see. Just the wind's catching the tops of the birch now. And you can actually hear the wind. Well, as you can see now, just panning down, how still everything is. And again, because of the almighty protection here from all the planting. You can just hear the bamboo wind chimes. We're coming out onto the front bank. You can probably hear a bit more of the wind now. And again, just looking down, look at all that fantastic colour. It's hard to believe that this is like the first week in January, but the colour is amazing. And again, that's just with all the varieties of planting.